Hey everyone, welcome to the April vlog. So much has happened since the March vlog, just so much has happened. Things are still pretty tough, but I've been putting a few different things in place, which has really helped me get into a better frame of mind, starting to look a little bit more positively at things and, trying to make it work. But I will get more into that as we go along. I am about to start packing the orders that I got through on the weekend. But before I do that, I do have something else to announce and to say thank you for as well. Last week, my time last week, so it was just after Easter sort of weekend, I finally got my butt into gear and did something I've been thinking about doing for a long time, but kind of really didn't do because I didn't know how to do it. But with thanks to things like AI, as much as I hate it, I have now been able to implement it. So what have I done? I have introduced the YouTube membership onto my channel. Why did I put off doing it? Because you have to create things like little, well, you don't have to, but to really make it personalized, you have to create things like little logo things to go against people's names for how long they've been a member for, and emojis and things like that. And I just didn't know how to design them. But thankfully, with thanks to AI out there, I have been able to get some help in developing the little things. And I have finally put the YouTube membership onto the channel here. And I have to say, huge thank yous to, first up, Karen and Chrissy. I don't know how you guys heard that the membership channel was there, but you subscribed within minutes or hours of me launching the membership. So thank you so much for both of you for joining up pretty much straight away. And also big thank yous to Wrigley Tin Soap, Natural Science by Joy Yachty, hopefully I got that one right, Eve of Alliance, Tanya and Tara. All of those people have joined up within that first week of me having the YouTube membership loaded onto my channel. One of them, I believe, is a Patreon member, and that's how they knew I had done it. But I don't know how the rest of you knew so soon that I had done it without actually doing any announcement about having it there. So thank you so much for joining. Basically with the YouTube membership, it is a little extra thing that goes onto the channel. I'm still bringing out all the regular videos, so you get all your soap making videos, the vlog and everything else all does come out. With the YouTube membership, there are 3 levels, but I think the first 2 are the only ones that people are looking at the moment. The first one is, it was $1.49 Australian, and that gives you little personalized emojis that you can use. So apart from all the regular emojis that are out there, also gives you a little sticker thing next to, I've forgotten what they call it, it's a little character sort of thing that goes next to your name, and it basically changes the longer you've actually been a YouTube member for. And it will also give you early access to the videos that I do. And I've been really trying very hard to get on top of the video making. So actually at the moment I do have videos loaded or scheduled all the way up till July, I think it is. So apart from my Patreon design soap. So all of those videos have been done and are loaded. So every Wednesday, my aim is to release that weekend's video for membership people to actually watch that early. I will also be using the community board a lot more to communicate with members through there as well. The next, and that one is called Studio Access. So that just gives you sort of like the front sort of studio side just to see the basic workings of it. The next level up is the behind the scenes. And on this, I am posting exclusive videos for members. So these exclusive videos, they are for YouTube membership and Patreon. So if you are a Patreon member, you don't have to join the the YouTube to actually see the videos because they're going to come up on Patreon as well. But you will get exclusive videos to these behind the scenes videos, and there'll be various different things as it goes on. The first video that has gone out is all about pricing strategy and how I'm actually using it within my business to help me get through these tough times. I also came into the shop early this morning to film another video for both Patreon and YouTube membership, and it's all about little ideas that you could implement in your business to try and drive a few extra sales. So they're those sort of things. And then I'll also be showing videos maybe when I get new toys in and I can actually give a more full-on demonstration. So for example, when I got that bag sealing machine, I actually did more of a in-depth video on that on Patreon because I didn't have YouTube membership at the time. So they got to see a little bit more of an in-depth video on that one as opposed to the very quick look at it on the vlog. So they're going to be those sort of videos. There is another level which don't have anyone on it at the moment. And if we do get, I have to get quite a few people on there before I can really implement some of the benefits, but there will be things like live Q&As and that sort of thing as time goes on. But to do the live Q&As, I do say on there, I think I've got like a minimum of 10 or 20 people need to be a member at that level, because there's no point me doing a live Q&A for one person who lives on the other side of the world when we're going to have a big time difference. But that will be something that will come until we get to that sort of number of people. I will still do Q&As on there, but it will be more you ask the questions, I'll do a video and answer it, and then we'll work around things like that. There's also a few other benefits, but that is all on there. If you are interested, underneath the videos there should now be like a little join button, and it will tell you on there what all those sort of levels are, what the emojis are that you get, and all the different pictures and things like that. But a huge thank you to the 7 of you that have joined in that first week before I've done any announcement at all. Huge thank you for you. So what we're going to do now, we're going to actually get on with packing a few orders that came in over the weekend. So I know you guys don't want to see me talking, so I'm going to get the camera moved so you can actually see what I'm packing. Okay, so the first order I am going to pack is for Davina, who runs Lovely Llama Soaps. She's also a Patreon member of mine. Go and check out her work. She does beautiful soaps. This is the large magnesium oil spray that she's ordered, and she's also grabbed the Calm magnesium lotion. And then we've got all our little bits to go in, but I'm going to grab some paper. All right, so let's pop our paper shred in there so it doesn't all move around. All right, so of course we're going to pop in our little ray of sunshine. Got a sample of the Calm solid lotion bars. Got a little magnet for her and my thank you cards, which I've already written on. And then I'm going to seal this one up. So that's a nice quick order to pack. I do find the more orders we have to pack on vlogs, the longer the vlog usually is. So all right, we've got that one in there, and what I'm going to do is, just to make my packing process a little bit quicker, I'm going to pop that back into the basket and I'll wrap them all up at the end. All right, so the next order I've got here is for Marianne over in WA. She has ordered the kids' magnesium oil spray. This is a little bit less concentrated than the adults version because kids' skin is so much more sensitive and is always full of little abrasions. This won't sting their skin as much as what an adult version will. It's also a really great way if you're starting out with magnesium and want to start off with a lower strength. The kids' one is perfect for that. She's also grabbed the Harmony lotion bar, the solid lotion. We have got the foaming face scrub in the gentle, and she's also ordered the hyaluronic facial gel, so we'll pop that in there. Next up we have the invigorating shampoo and conditioner bar set, so they can go in there, and she's also grabbed the blue slushy lip balm. So I've got all of that packed in there. Again, we're going to add in our tissue paper or our shredded paper just to make sure things don't rattle around and get broken or leak. So that's in there. Again, we've got a little ray of sunshine. I've got so many of these made up. I went a little bit crazy making them up because I had so many fragrances, like bits and pieces. I thought, right, use them up, get all the little rays of sunshine. And I have got this absolutely mammoth basket of little rays of sunshines to get through. I won't need to make any for ages. Being a new customer, I've got a little extra card and a little magnet to go in here. Plus, I'm also including the magnesium lotion sample because we've got that spray. In goes our little thank you card. I need my little sticker so we can close this one up. There we go. And again, I'm just going to pop this one back into the basket. And once we've got the final order wrapped up, then we will wrap these up in the paper and ribbon, which reminds me, I need to order more ribbon. Oh, people constantly wanting my money. All right, and then the final order I've got to pack this morning. This one is for Shelley, and Shelley is a Pamper Club member, and it is also her birthday month. So she's got a few little extras to go in here. But first up, what we've got, let's do this in order that they're on here. We've got one of the Bare Essential soaps. This is something new that I've introduced since the last vlog. The wholesale soaps just really have not been selling very well, and I've got all of these soaps, all of this money in soaps sitting out the back there in their containers, waiting for wholesale orders to come through, which just aren't coming. I thought this is just ridiculous. So I ended up moving half of the stock onto the website, calling them Bare Essential soaps. So basically these soaps have no branding, no wrapping, know nothing about them, and I've got them down at a really good price, and these have been selling really well for me. Generally, if there's only one or two of a scent ordered, I pop them just into a paper bag with a label on so people know what's in it. If it's like a 3, 4, or 5 of the same scent, I wrap them up in a bit of brown paper just to protect them in the box when they're traveling, so that they don't get the shredded paper stuck to them, they don't get damaged from the other stock as well. But these Bare Essential soaps, you guys are absolutely loving them, so they may even become a permanent. I've introduced them while times are tough, because at the end of the day, soap is essential for cleaning. So that's why I've introduced them on there, and I was going to keep them on until things improve again. But now I'm actually seriously thinking about keeping them on there and just having a very simple range of soaps as Bare Essentials. But we've got one of them, the oatmeal milk and honey. So we'll pop that one in there. And then Shelley has grabbed all of the new, well, most of the new decorative soap designs that have come out. We've got the bergamot and white patchouli. We've got temptress. This is a gorgeous purple. Video for this one will be coming out in a few weeks' time. I've also got Spellbound. It's got a little spell book on the top. We've got Midnight Magic. There's actually a moon design in it. We've got some little mushrooms. We've then got the Prosecco Rose. That video has already come out. So we've got the rose and the little wine bottle on the top. And then we've got Bunny Hops, the one that I was late to Easter for, but everyone is really loving this little Bunny Hops. All of these soaps, I have got videos coming out, but I've got so many videos lined up at the moment. There's going to be weeks before you see some of these ones come out on here. Now, as I said, it is Shelley's birthday month, and as a Pamper Club member, she does get a little birthday gift pack as well. So we're going to pop that in there. And all Pamper Club members this month are also getting a little pot of the newly released foaming sugar scrub in the coconut lemongrass. So we'll pop that in there for her. I'm going to go and get my tissue paper or my shredded paper, and we're going to pop that in, make sure we cover the top of some of those soaps. I have been really enjoying making the decorative soaps. it's one of those things. I've had all these ideas for decorative soaps, and as I've said so many times, the perimenopause is just, nah, don't want to make anything, don't want to do anything. Every time I did try and do stuff, it wasn't going right, and I just haven't made decorative soaps. I did them for Christmas because it's kind of, I felt it was expected to make them, so I did make decorative at Christmas, but that was it. I've just not had that sort of drive to make them. But now that I'm feeling so much better, I have been having big soaping marathons. Sorry, I'm trying to get a label. I've been having big soaping marathons, and I have actually now been creating lots of decorative soaps and everything else, and you guys are loving seeing those decorative soaps come up, and I am loving making them as well. So I think this month we've actually released 9 decorative soaps, and I want to try and get on top of it so that I am releasing soaps again every month like I used to. But there it is, we've got Shelley's in the box. What I'm now going to do is wrap all these up in the black paper and ribbon. I then have a couple of things that I do want to make today. And speaking of soaps, I do have a whole heap of soaps sitting out the back, which do need to be tidied up and put onto the cure rack so that they can cure. As I said, I am trying to get myself back into the habit. Years ago, I used to be in the habit of, at the start of each month, I used to make at least 4 soaps, and those 4 soaps would then be ready for the beginning of the next month. And then I just slowly stopped doing it, and soaps were just coming out sort of whenever. But I want to try and get myself back into that habit where I have a regular soaping thing. So at the beginning of each month, I make some soaps, and so that they're ready for the beginning of the next month. And I will try and do at least 1 or if not 2 decoratives and a couple of others to go in there as well. So that's my kind of working plans. But for now, I'm going to, sorry, I'm watching some kids out the front of the shop. It's school holidays, and that is when things tend to go missing. But for now, I'm going to wrap up these orders, and then I'm going to get on with, I've got some stuff to go and put away. We'll get on to making these other things and also wrapping or preparing the soaps. I completely lost my train of thought. I'm going to get on with my day. Okay, it has been a really good day so far. We've had a few people coming into the shop, and everyone that has come in has actually bought. And pretty much all but one person has been paying with cash today, which is really unusual for this time of year, but I'm not going to complain. My bank might, because they don't make any money out of it, but I'm not going to complain. I've had a really busy morning. I have got a batch of cream cleanser over on the bench there. It's already got its essential oil, preservative and everything in. It's cooling down. I've just printed up all the labels, got the bottles prepared, so tomorrow when I come in I can pot all of that up. I had a couple of soaps on the cure rack that had to come off, so I've had them all boxed up, wrapped up, put out there online. And then while I was eating my lunch, my phone went cha-ching, and I saw that it was an order from my very good friend over in Perth. And I knew as soon as I saw that the order was for her that she would have gin martini in her order. I've literally only just wrapped these ones and put them onto the website. Like me, Jo loves gin, and she's ordered herself 2 of these. And I think, like me, we've liked gin before it was cool to drink gin. You know how we've just had this big thing about gin, and it was everywhere, and all these small craft gin distilleries were popping up all over the place, and it was the in thing to drink. I mean, don't get me wrong, I thoroughly enjoyed it because it was so easy to obtain gins, and all the restaurants and bars and stuff had decent gins in them rather than Gordons everywhere. So I did actually really enjoy it. But I did say to my husband the other day, I'm pretty sure the whole gin thing is over, because you're not seeing, you used to go into the bottle shops and there would be like this whole section of gin, and now it's only like 1 or 2 shelves in there. So I'm pretty sure everyone's moved on to whatever the next thing is, but I'm not moving away from my gin. I have drunk it since I was allowed to legally drink and choose my own drinks. I remember going to a nightclub with my friends one day. I had just turned 18 and went out to my first nightclub, and my friends all thought I was very weird because I wanted a gin and tonic, and even the bartender questioned whether I really wanted to have a gin and tonic. Did I know what it was? And yes, I did know what it was. All the women in my family drink gin and tonic, thank you very much, and I have pretty much liked it since I could try gin. And I'm pretty sure Jo's the same as me. We've liked it, like she liked it when I first met her as well. So that's a long, long time ago. So we've been drinking gin since it was uncool to drink gin. So I knew that she was going to have a couple of these in her order. I'll get you pointed down so we can see what else Jo has got in here. So we'll pop in the gin martini ones. I'm really quite sad because this fragrance oil, it's actually one of the Nature's Gardens fragrance oils, and the bottle I've got was actually sent to me, and I use it so sparingly. Every time I really want a bar of this soap is when I actually use it, and I'm almost at the end of the bottle, so I will probably make myself something super special with what's left. I don't know yet, because nowhere here in Australia has even begun to hit a good gin. Aussie Candle Supplies recently brought out a gin one, and it is the closest I have been able to find to a gin fragrance. We've got Midnight Magic. She's ordered 2 of those, and then she also ordered 2 of the also newly released Golden Wattle. I've literally, again, just wrapped these at the same time as the martini ones. We'll get those in. Now, Jo did say to me that she heard I was trialing making tallow soap. I've just made a couple of really small batches, only get a few bars out of them just for me and hubby to test, and she said that she really likes tallow soaps, so I'm going to include one of my tallow soaps for her. This is the original version I made, and although I like it, I just feel it needs a little bit of a tweak. If you don't get the right balance of oils, they can all feel a little bit drying, a little bit squeaky clean, and I just think I need a little bit more conditioning into this one, but it's still a lovely bar. You know what, Jo may find it actually really conditioning, so I'm going to send her a bar of that so she can tell me what she thinks. She has also ordered herself one of the solid lotion bars in the Elegance, so we'll pop that in there. To match in with that soap, I'm also giving her the Pamper Club foaming sugar scrub as well. Let me get some shredded paper. So let's tuck that in there to protect those little mushrooms on the soap there so that they don't get damaged. Jo has two gorgeous kids, a boy and a girl. So whenever I do pack Joe's order, I always include one each of the little rays of sunshines for the kids. Recently, her daughter, she's got her birthday coming up and she's got some party favours going out, and she was so excited when she got the box of favours from me. So I know that she absolutely loves the products that we put in there. I'm also going to put my little sampler, a little thank you card. It's a slightly different thank you card to what I normally do because I've got more room to write on the back, and I just wanted to let her know I'd included that bonus soap. Need to find my phone. In fact, I need to change the labels. I've got the wrong labels in the printer, but I need to create my little sticker for closing this up. So I need to do a quick label change as well. I'm not liking the new look on this app for Munbin. It is harder to use, and now I have to go scanning. Rather than just showing me what I've recently done, it keeps moving all my designs around. Not happy. Because I really don't like the new look of the Munbin app, I usually now start printing about 5 or 6 labels at a time so that they're there, so I don't have to keep scanning through them. But there we go, let's get that one on there. I'm going to get Joe's parcel all wrapped up in the paper and the ribbon. And once I've done that, my next job is to take off all the soaps off that are currently sitting on the cure rack on their trays and go and tidy them up. It's about 2:30, so I've got about an hour and a half to get that job done. And then hubby will be here to pick me up. So hubby actually brought me into work today. If you don't follow on socials, I made the rather difficult choice, but rather positive choice, to trade in Ruby. And if you don't know who Ruby is, Ruby the Beast was my great big red Nissan Navara truck. And I have absolutely loved Ruby. She's been such a reliable car. Was an absolute dream to drive. And I know this is going to sound so terrible, go feminism. There is something so empowering about being a woman in a great big red truck and reversing it into a parking spot and then getting it out with all these men going, oh, it's a woman driving it. There's just something really, really empowering about driving such a big car and being capable of driving it as well. And I've absolutely loved having Ruby, but there's been a few little issues. One of them is, as I'm getting older, I am losing a lot of strength, a lot of the upper body strength that I've always had. It doesn't matter what I do, I'm losing that strength. I'm losing it in my arms. And you know, over the years, people have always said to me, I can't believe you do all this stuff. And I've always said, I do it because I can, because right now I can do it. So I'm going to take advantage of doing it, knowing that with my PCOS, the older I'm getting, I'm going to lose that strength and all this other, you know, and it's not just that, there's lots of different things that go on in like family history where you think I might not be able to do this stuff in the future. So I've always just pushed myself to do stuff, and I'm actually getting to a point now where I am actually struggling to do certain things. I used to be able to haul my 25 kilo bags of salt and sodium hydroxide and all of that around quite easily, you know, the big 20 kilo boxes of wax and stuff like that. I could haul them into the car and take them places. When I was doing markets, it was no worry for me to haul the gazebo out in and out the car and push the trailer around, and I was actually getting to the point then that I was actually struggling, and these days I really do struggle to do that sort of thing, and I'm reluctantly having to ask hubby to do it for me more and more and more. And one of the things I've had to ask for him to do a lot lately is to lift some of those heavier bags of ingredients into the car for me, because I cannot get them from off the lower shelves up and into the car. I can get them from out of the car and carry them because we're already starting at that right height, but I just really struggle to lift things up and into the car. And then the other thing, of course, the fuel crisis that we're going through right now. I was actually at one point last month really seriously thinking of only opening the shop for 4 days a week instead of 5 because of the price of the fuel. And I know that's kind of counterintuitive, because if I'm not opening the shop, I'm not making any money. But sometimes I come into the shop and I make no money, and it's costing me money to come into the shop. So it's like, well, I need to work out which day is not worth coming in, and maybe only opening 4 days a week instead of 5 days a week, and then using that extra day at home to do something a little bit more sort of productive. You know, there were things like that we're seriously considering. And then we've also got the whole thing about our holiday coming up, and it was looking like we were going to have to cancel it because we just could not afford to go on this holiday with the way things were going. And there was the one day I'd sat on the couch on a Friday night. I was in absolute tears about it. One part of our holiday, as I have mentioned, is to go and see Phantom of the Opera. And I've actually had several chances in my life to go and see this performance, which I have desperately wanted to see. But every time I've had the chance to see it, something else has come up, whether it be that the timing's not right, or that other things have come up, or it's just too expensive because the show was all the way down in Sydney and we were all the way up in Far North Queensland. And then the show, I heard, was actually no longer playing. And I was sitting on the couch on Friday, this one Friday night, and it's like, I'm never going to get to see Phantom of the Opera on stage, am I? I'm never going to see it, because this is potentially the last tour that they're going to do in our lifetime. I said, it's just so unfair. I just want to see this show, and I don't understand why the universe is so against me seeing this show. And I was in absolute tears. And I know it sounds really stupid, but it's just something I've wanted to do since I was probably mid-teenage sort of age. And I've always liked Andrew Lloyd Webber music and all the other musicals that he's done. And I was so desperate to go and see this show, and I was thinking, that's it. This is another chance where we're going to have to cancel it because we can't afford it. And then I went walking Miss Pepper the following morning, and a hybrid car drove past on their way to doing something. I thought, no, we don't have to cancel this trip. I'm going to trade Ruby in and get a hybrid. The most extreme way to go on a holiday. But I sent hubby a message and I said, look, there is another way we can actually do this before we actually really investigate cancelling. I said, how about we go and have a look for a hybrid car on the Monday when we've got the day off together, see what we can get for a trade on Ruby, and then we'll see if we can actually get out of this with very, very little exchange, because I couldn't really afford to do it, but it was like, I really want to go on this holiday. And we ended up going to have a look at the car on Monday. Hubby had done a whole heap of research. He found a Haval H6 2025 plate at a local car yard, so we went and had a look at it. They gave us the whole, salesman pitch. Oh, it's the last demo. We can't sell that one, and we've got some new ones arriving next week, and they're all 2026 plates, and they're going on and on and on. I said, look, if you want to make a sale today, because it was the end of the month, end of a quarter, I said, if you want to make a sale today, I want that demo, and I want it for as little changeover as possible. And then hubby's gone, well, we can drive 40 minutes down the road to this yard, and they've got this. And they've gone, oh, okay, well, we can match those prices. But we really need to wait for the new cars. I don't want a new car. I cannot afford a brand new car. I want that demo or I'm gone. And eventually they agreed that, yes, I could have the demo car. And they said they needed to get all, the transfer papers and everything done. So that was on the Monday. And on the Thursday, I went and picked up my brand new Haval H6 2025 plate and said goodbye to Ruby. It was so sad to say goodbye to this car that's just been an absolute pleasure to drive. But I honestly couldn't afford to keep her any longer. If I did keep her any longer, the trade-in value was going to drop, the price of the EVs or the hybrids were going to go up. It just had to be done then, otherwise we were going to lose out. And as soon as I'd signed all the deal and everything, and the person walked away, I went, we're going on holiday. I was so excited. It wasn't, I've got a new car. It's like, we're going on holiday. I was just so relieved that signing this new contract meant we got to go on holiday. So yeah, we traded her in. I can tell you it's been such a huge relief to get this car. Although there was nothing wrong with Ruby, she didn't use a lot of fuel. Like when I sit and talk about how much fuel I use, I feel kind of guilty because I know a lot of people who work closer to the city, work in the city, they're filling their cars up once a week, 60 litres of petrol once a week, 80 litres if you've got the utes, more if you've got some four-wheel drives. I generally fill up once a month, so I'm only using about 20 litres of fuel a week when I had the Navara. So I always do feel a little bit guilty complaining about it because I don't use that much. But you know, it's still a pretty big whack when you don't know what your next income is going to be. It's all well and good when you've got a Monday to Friday 9 till 5 job or whatever it is, as long as it's a permanent job. You know what your wage is going to be, you know that you can afford to put fuel in your car. But when you don't know how much money you're going to make on any given day, any given week, it can actually put quite a bit of a strain on you. So watching this fuel going up and up and up, it was really putting that strain to the point that I'm thinking, I'm having to fill up once a week at the moment just to make sure that I've got the money to put the fuel in the car. But since getting the new car, in my first week, I used about 1/8 of a tank just traveling to and from work. It's got a much smaller tank than the Navara, so we've worked out I'm now using about 7 litres of fuel a week, which is just such a huge relief. It really, really is. But the most important thing is we get to go on holiday. If you were watching on socials, when I originally said about the car and introduced the car, I'm one of these people that names cars. And when I first thought, right, on the Saturday, right, we're going to go and look at a car, and I started thinking of car names, what would I call different cars? And the first one that popped into my head was Silverado. I thought, if I'm going to give up my great big beast of a car, I'm going to name it after another big beast of a car. So I thought Silverado. And then when we went to look at this car, it was actually silver. It was like, oh, this has got to be my car. Like, just something's telling me this has got to be my car. I'm going to attach these while I'm talking to you. So we're doing twofers. So I thought, right, perfect. We got the car. I introduced it as Silverado. And then we were sitting doing stuff in this car. And it's like, oh my gosh, the car does this. There's things like, oh wow, I've got dual climate control. You know, silly little things like that I've always wanted in a car. I got dual climate control. Oh look, I can open the boot with my foot, and all these other things that I've just, you can do all these really interesting things. For the price point of the car, it has got some awesome features. And I went, this is a fancy pants car, isn't it? And he said, yeah, it is fancy. I said, it ain't Silverado, this is fancy. Meet fancy my car. So now that the car's actually been stuck as fancy, but today, long story, today hubby's actually getting the windows tinted for me. So he brought me to work, and he's taken the car back home because he's got the day off, and the window tint person is coming out to actually tint the windows for me, which will be really good for when we go on our trip as well. But we had a really good laugh yesterday. Well, you can't tell me if you're bored. You can skip if you're bored already. But yesterday we'd gone out to go and see my sister-in-law. We haven't seen her for a while because of the whole fuel thing. We've not been going out on weekends. And I said, look, now that we've got this car and we can actually go and do things again, ask your sister if we can actually go and meet her for lunch at a restaurant by her, so she doesn't have to drive very far and we can drive over. So we did that yesterday, and we were looking at a few other features on the car, and one of the things that constantly rolls around on the screen is your voice activation, where you can say hello and you can tell the car to do things. So hubby said to turn the volume up on the radio, and it didn't do anything. And I went, volume up. No, that wasn't what we did, sorry. We were looking at it, we were talking about it, and I said, yeah, you're meant to be able to say things like volume up. And then it turned the volume up on the car. It was like, oh. I said, volume down, and it went down. It's okay. So hubby went, volume up. it didn't do anything. I just sat there and laughed and laughed and laughed, and I went, volume up, and the volume went up, and it just would not do any of the voice commands that hubby asked it to do. So I just sat there absolutely laughing about it. And then I thought, and I was trying to get it to do the other things, like put the AC on, put the windows down or up and all this sort of stuff. And I couldn't get it to do anything but change the volume. I said, that's okay, don't need it to do anything else. And then I thought, no, I'm going to have a look at this and see what it is. And you are actually meant to say to it, hello GWM, and then tell it what you want it to do. And I've already just stuffed that up. And I'm thinking, no, that's too hard. That's too hard to tell it that sort of thing. So last night I quickly Googled if you could actually change the trigger words to get it to do stuff. And yes, you can. So this morning I snuck out to the car and I set it in the settings. And then we were driving down the driveway and I went, hey, fancy, windows down. All the windows went down. Hubby's just put his foot on the brake. He says, what? So now I don't know if he can actually get the voice commands to go, but I'm sitting there going, hey, fancy, put the air conditioning on, and doing all the, I was having an absolute ball with it, but he said, this is just ridiculous. But it is good that I've now actually been able to set the trigger to something a little bit more easier to say than GWM, and not something a lot of people are going to say in my car, but it does things like you can put the lights on, you can turn the volume up and down, because the volume on the radio is a little bit tricky to get to. But yeah, having such a laugh with hubby about the car listening to me and not him. But he is going to come pick me up this afternoon. So what I'm going to do for the rest of the day after all of that yapper is I'm going to go and tidy up some soaps. So you can see I've got a fair few sitting on trays on here. Some of these, like this is a smoky obsidian and a sardonyx. These I just did the soaps because I wanted to make the soaps. There's no videos or anything, so I'll just tidy them up, pop them back on the rack. But for ones like this one I did do a video, so I need to tidy them up, take photos. And this one here, Susan, you asked me about this soap. You asked me about Kakadu plum and cucumber, and as we discussed in the email and messages, I have remade it. I'm pretty happy with the colours, because you said your husband really liked the colours of this soap. So I've been able to do that, and this has just been made with Kakadu plum. So this one will be ready in about 4 weeks, and there will be a video on that one as well. So we'll get some photos of those. And then most of these other soaps here, I do need photos of this one. This is a banana smoothie, a Patreon design challenge, but a lot of these others don't need photos. So I'm just gonna potter around. I'm going to tidy up all those soaps, and then by the time I finish doing that, hubby should be here with Fancy, and then I get to go home. guys have probably had enough of listening to music now, so I'll talk with you. I woke up this morning and took Pepper for a sniffari. She had such a ball on this walk. She had this real bounce about her. She's been really funny lately when we go walking. She goes bouncing and prancing about everywhere. She's getting used to walking on a harness now, which she really does prefer over the halty, and I prefer that she walk on a harness as well, and she's really getting used to that. We still have the odd moment, but she's getting really good at it. I think she's worked out that or she's slowly working out that she is really powerful, and she is too powerful for me, so she's starting to kind of pull back when she knows that I can't cope with something that she's doing, because dogs are really intelligent when it comes to stuff like that. I will say though that the previous 2 dogs that we had worked it out a lot quicker than what Pepper does. She still launches herself at everyone, but she has stopped doing that so much with me, probably because she has sent me flying one too many times. But we did go out on our walk, really enjoyed it. It was a bit chilly this morning. It was only about 16 degrees when we went out, which I know so many of you are going to say that's not cold. But when you live in a place where you get 35-degree days, 16 degrees in the morning is cold. So it was a little bit chilly, so I had my long sleeves on. When I got back, I did start editing the vlog, so yesterday's footage. And I realised that the first day's worth of footage was super duper long. And usually if the first day is over 30 minutes, it tends to be a rather long vlog. And I know you guys love the long vlogs, but it is a lot of work for me to edit and put together and then to upload and everything else. And with everything I've got to do over the next couple of weeks that we can go on our holiday, I did want to try and make it a little bit easier on myself today. So I decided that I wouldn't do as much talking. And then when I actually got into the shop this morning, up until about 12 o'clock, so it was just before lunchtime, it has been crazy, insane busy, which is a really good thing. And I can tell you, what I did today is what I actually expect to do in a retail setting on the main street somewhere as a quiet day. That's what I would actually expect in a retail business. And I can tell you, if I had a day like I had today, you know, all the days that I'm open, and then had really good days in between that as well, I wouldn't be questioning things like, what am I going to do next year when my lease is up? We'll see how the next few months go, but it is something that is playing on my mind a lot. So we'll see what happens. It could just be, it was picking up just after Christmas, and then, you know, everything hit the ceiling fan and everything changed. So it could all change again, we never know. But if I had a day like today every day, I would be very happy. So because it was busy, it did mean I didn't get to do as much talking to you guys, and just did a lot more filming of what I was doing. And it has, as well as having the customers keeping me busy, I've been kept busy with all my little jobs. I didn't finish doing the soaps before hubby got here yesterday, because I had quite a few of them to do. So I had a few to do it this morning, so I finished that off. There weren't any orders overnight, so we didn't get to pack any of those. And then I made some fresh magnesium lotion, because I only had 1 bottle, or only have 1 tube of that on the side. I've made a fresh batch of some foaming bath whip. I've done a few other little bits and pieces. I've been working on a few new formulas as well, so I've been doing those just quietly off to the side, having a little bit of a general tidy up as well. So it's been a really good productive day, and right now I've got about 40 minutes until I go home. So I thought that's just enough time to actually make these soaking salts to restock the shelf, because they've been popular today. I've only got 1 of the Sleepy Time on the shelf now and 2 of the Unwind. So gonna make a fresh batch of these before heading home. And then that's pretty much it for today. When I come back in tomorrow, I do need to make some more foaming bath whip, but I have to make a little bit of a change to my recipe because this one is for George from King of Suds. He really likes one of my particular products, but he's asked if I can add an ingredient into it. So I said I could, and he said he'd buy 1 kilo from me if I would make the change, and I said yep, because I knew I had the ingredient coming and all this other stuff. So I'm going to make him a special batch of some foaming face scrub, and I'm going to take that down to Sydney when we go down there for the show, because we're meeting up with George on the Monday to go for dinner. So he's got that. And then also tomorrow I have another product that I am working on. It's still a few months off. I'm working on a roll-on deodorant as well as doing the stick deodorant, because the roll-on deodorant, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to get 100% natural, whereas the stick deodorants I can't get 100% natural, but they're as natural as I possibly can get them. So I've been working on this roll-on deodorant, and I've told George about it. Again, he wants a specific ingredient in this deodorant, which just, it will not go in it. I've explained to him the reasons why it won't go in. I said, but I can make you one of these roll-ons and then you can try doing what you want to do with it. So he said that's what he's going to do. So I'm actually going to make some of this roll-on deodorant tomorrow as well. And then I'm going to take a bottle of that down to him. And I'll also take one out to Lee when we go and see her, because she uses my stick deodorant, which she absolutely loves. And I said, well, can she also guinea pig my roll-on? So I'm going to take that out for her. So I'll be making those up tomorrow, and I'm also going to do a little bit more prep work for our holiday. There's lots of things I need to be doing. I'm going to have a sale while we're away, so I'm going to do a little bit of a stock take to see what's going to go into the sale and how much of things I've got. So that's the rest of this week's sort of plan, because I think the only other thing I need to make is some more dish soap. I seem to be making a batch of that every couple of weeks, but I don't want to increase my batch size because I know the moment I do, it will stop selling. So I'm quite happy to keep making small batches. So I will be making that tomorrow as well. But for now, I'm going to go finish doing these, and then I'm going to go and head home. All right, it is Thursday. I'm in the shop. Geez, my air conditioner is cold today. It's a beautiful day outside, but it's working overtime in here today. Yesterday, before going home, I printed up all the things that I need to do today. That one's not so important. Today, we need to make a batch of dish soap. I need to make the foaming base for George's face scrub. I don't know if I'll be able to make the whole thing today because I do need to let that base cool back down. I have got the soaking salts that I need to seal up, but before I do them, over on that bench over there, I've got some magnesium lotion. I'm going to pop that into the tubes and into the little sample sachets, and once they're filled, then I'll pull out the bag sealing machine and get all of that sealed at once, just trying to conserve electricity. As I mentioned in the last vlog, they decided in the middle of everything going on that the electricity was going to go up by 33% as of the 1st of April. So I've been doing things like turning off all the power points when I go home, just making sure that I do as much as possible with the energy that's on at that time rather than keep having to constantly use it. So we'll see what it actually does to the electricity bill. Hopefully soon we'll get to turn this air conditioner off, and that will save me a ton of money. Usually in summer my electricity bill goes up by about $50 to $60 compared to winter because of the air conditioner. It's absolutely crazy. But yeah, that's what I got planned for today. So I had a really good run in today. It's school holidays, so the traffic's been amazing for the last couple of weeks, and tomorrow's my last day of beautiful driving. But I have still got about 10 minutes until the shop opens. But you know what? There's people out there. It's a beautiful day. I'm going to go and get that door open, and then I'm going to start getting stuck into all the things I need to do. sadly, no orders overnight, so nothing to pack there, but we've got plenty of other things to do. Just going to grab my ingredients for the dish soap, but something I do have to mention that I have thoroughly enjoyed during this whole fuel crisis thing that we are going through. I've often spoken about the number of trucks and cars that pull up out the front of the shop and just sit there with their motor running and, you know, kicking off exhaust fumes and everything into the shop. Because the cost of diesel is so expensive at the moment, many of the delivery trucks are pulling up out the front and turning their engines off. It has been so nice not to have to listen to the engines constantly running, because that noise really does do my head in, and the smells that come off those diesel trucks as well. So it has been absolutely fantastic. It just reminded me, because it's actually a big truck sitting in the loading zone right now, and they've got their engine turned off, so it's just nice and peaceful and not smelly. There's got to be some good things that come out of this, right? It's about 2:30 and I have finished making things for the day. I've got the dish soap sitting on the cure rack over there cooling down, so we'll be able to pop the labels onto that tomorrow out onto the shelf. I have the base for George's face wash over there, and tomorrow when I come in I will put all the rest of the bits in there. I also need to stop off on my way in tomorrow and pick up a container to put it into. He just wants it into a container. I did think about putting it, I've got some really big stand-up pouches. I just think they're going to be too messy to get it out of, so I will stop and get a container for that on the way in. And I've also been playing with a couple of the new formulas that I have been working on. One of the formulas I am actually really happy with it as it is at the moment. I just thought I would see if I could actually tweak it, and it is going to be the May formula that comes out on the DIY Body Care website, and that is for a gelled body oil. So if you've been around for a while, you'll know I do not like oily things on the skin, and I love a body oil, but I hate how oily and greasy it makes you feel. And I know that does come down a lot to oil choice, but I still don't like that slippery feeling of the oil on my skin. So I wanted to see if I could actually thicken it up a little bit. And I'm really, really happy with one of the formulas that I have created. I've been using it for a few weeks. It's nice and stable in the bottle, looks really good. And then I was thinking, it's a really new sort of concept, so maybe I need to try and change it to come back into consumer minds. And today I tried to make it a little bit thinner than what I have been making it, and I just pulled back too far and it's come up really, really runny. So I just don't think it's got a little bit of viscosity to it, but I just feel it's still a little bit too runny. It doesn't feel greasy on the skin, but I just think it has still got that run that I don't particularly like. So maybe tomorrow, if I've got time, I will try again just bumping this recipe up just by a tiny bit of thickener and see if we can get it actually to thicken up nicely. If not, I'm just going to go with the recipe that I have actually got at home in my bathroom, because I absolutely love it. I have been using it most mornings and at night time as well. I've been using it too, and absolutely love how it's come up. But I just thought, you know, have a little bit of a tweak, because you can always make things better when you do have those tweaks. And then the other recipe I've also been playing and tweaking with is the roll-on deodorant that I've been working on. Sorry, I'm really, really thirsty. And I've drunk too much water today, so I thought a cup of tea instead. I have been working on this roll-on deodorant, which will be a recipe that comes out in a couple of months. I am trying to make it 100% natural, so with the essential oils and making sure that all the other ingredients that go into it are natural as well. And it can be a little bit difficult to do that sort of thing. So I did go to create it, and then I decided that the extract I was putting into it, I wanted something different. So I was putting chamomile extract into it, because I figured if you've shaved and then you put your deodorant on, that chamomile will be nice and soothing. So I originally did that. And then I thought that, no, I'll actually put some green tea extract in it, because of some of the minerals that are in that are actually good for lowering the pH of the skin, which in turn stops the bacteria, which causes the smell when we sweat. So I decided to swap the the extract for the green tea, and it went pear-shaped. It went very much so pear-shaped. So when I actually did a little bit of research about why, it basically went all globby, looked like little balls of snot in my jar. It really wasn't very nice, and had little brown flecks through it as well. Apparently, it's quite acidic. The green tea extract is quite acidic, so it kind of shocks the zinc ricinosinolate, which is an important ingredient in your deodorants. Kind of shocks it, and it makes it go all globby. And the brown I was seeing was actually the tannins from the tea. So it's like, well, we'll go back to the drawing board and we'll just go back to chamomile. And I'm really liking what I've got so far. I did add in an extra bacteria fighting ingredient into this one, just to try and give it a little bit of a boost. I'm going to continue testing that over the next few weeks, especially while we're on holiday, and I know we're going to do lots of trekking and stuff like that, so I'll be able to test it out and then hopefully get that recipe out in a couple of months' time. So yeah, it's been productive that way. I've had a couple of people in the shop today as well. Not as busy as it has been this week. The first 2 days of this week were actually very, very busy. And today has been pretty much an average day that I've been having for the last however many months. But still, something is better than nothing. But even though it's been really quiet in the shop, from about 11 o'clock today, the phone has just been going cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. So very, very happy. So let's get some of these orders packed, which have been coming through. All right, so the first order I have got here that came through is from Sonia. but she is actually sending this to somebody else. It is going to Valda, and she has ordered 3 tubes of the Calm Magnesium Lotion. This is one of my top sellers in the range. Everyone loves this Calm. So let's pop those in there like that. Of course, we need some paper shred to fill up the gap. That's probably a little bit too much there. I'll pop that to the side because I'm sure I will use it in just a moment. Of course, I'm going to pop my little ray of sunshine in. So even if you're ordering to have it sent to someone else, all the parcels are treated exactly the same. And if you are ordering to send to someone else and you want me to add a little birthday note or something, you just leave it in the comments section and I can do that. I'm also going to include a sample of the magnesium fresh for her. So that was the one that we made up today. And we've got new little magnets going out. So I've been doing these little magnets for quite a number of months now, and I just change the design all the time. People can cut the QR code off, but the idea is you can pop them onto your fridge and it gives you a really quick scan onto the website. Let's grab my little stickers here, but there's lots of little sayings on the little magnets which should hopefully just bring a smile to people. It's basically little affirmation quotes on there. So this one says, "You are enough just as you are." So they're all just like little positive quotes that I put onto these magnets. I try to make sure that I send the new ones out to people every time they order. It's easy when I first open a brand new pack because I'm pretty sure that no one's had it. But as we start to get towards the end of the pack, I do sometimes lose track of who's got what. But I do try and make sure everyone gets the new ones. For anyone who does want to try and collect them, I started collecting them, but only after I'd already given away all of the first lot. So I don't have my entire collection available to me. All right, let's go on to the next one. I suppose though I could always reprint that first one and then I can actually keep one, but then that means people will end up with duplicates. So no, I'll just have to put up with the fact that I forgot to keep one. All right, next order here is for Colette, and she is grabbing some of our decorative soaps that have just been released. We've got 2 bunny hops, in we go. We've got 2 of the Midnight Magic, and we've also got two of the Spellbound. For some reason, I have put 2 suns into everybody's baskets. I have no idea why I have done that. All right, let's use that bit of paper shred to fill in the gap. And we need a little bit more. These boxes are really good because they're a little bit taller than my usual box, which means that these taller soaps don't get damaged when they're in transit. I have so many people ask me what size boxes it is that I use, but do you know what? It's too hard to tell people. I think I have, well, let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 different size boxes. And, you know, they all fit into all the different sized boxes. So it's really hard to actually say what size boxes to get. So, you know, this order I'm packing now could actually go into potentially at least 3 of the boxes that I've got under here. So it's kind of something you just have to kind of work out yourself. All right, so we're going to pop a sample in. We're going to pop in the little magnet and our little thank you card for Colette as well. Going to get that one wrapped up. And of course the little sticker on there like so. So again, I'm just going to pop that in its box for now, and then we will grab the next order. All right, this box doesn't have any tissue paper in. Sometimes I make the boxes up for an order and then decide that it's the wrong shape or wrong size box, and I just stick them down on the shelf. So sometimes when I pull them out, they already have their tissue paper in, and then other times I have to create it. I wonder who that is whistling to me. That was my messenger on my phone. Could be hubby actually. I warned him there was a delivery coming, and we've got this thing where I always say to hubby, you never believe me when I say things to you. I'll often say to him, I've got a big delivery coming today, and then I'll get home and he says, it was a big delivery. It's like, well, yeah, like it was a 25 kilo bag of something being delivered. And I sent him a message this morning to say there are lots of big deliveries coming today. We've got, speaking of shipping boxes, we've got a few different shipping box sizes arriving, and then there's a couple of other parcels in there as well. So that would be keeping him nice and busy. All right, next order I have got here is for Samantha. Just going to take that little tag off because that was pulled off the shelf there, and we don't want to send it with the little price tag. She has ordered the clay face mask set. So we got the bowl, the spoon and the brush, and then we've got the glow face mask. We're going to pop that one in there. And then what else have we got? I'm going to cross these off because this is a bit of a bigger order here and I don't want to miss anything. She has ordered the hippie owl earrings, so we'll pop those in the bag so that they don't get all tangled up. I wonder how I'm going to pack this one. Let's just maybe start with some of the bigger items. We've got the earrings. Oh, there goes another kid on their bike. Be glad when the school holidays are over. We've got a bunny hops and a spellbound in our decorative soap bars there. So let's pop that one and that one on there. She's also grabbed the wild berries. So we'll slide that one in there, as well as the papaya coconut cream soap. In fact, what we'll do is we'll pop them like this. We'll put the bunny on the bottom and we'll pop that one on the top there. Perfect, it's going to go in. All right, we've also got 2 soap mats here. We've got the dark grey and a beige, so we can pop those in there. We'll pop our little owl earrings in. She has also ordered the pink shrink wrap opener. We've got the new designs in permanently now that come with the little keychain holder on them. And we've got some beautiful colours this month. So we've got that one. And then we're going to need a little bit of paper shred in here. And when I put the paper shred in this one, I'm going to make sure that I'm tucking it around those little embeds so that they don't get damaged and knocked around too much. That goes in there. Of course, we need a little ray of sunshine. You can pop in there, make sure it sits flat. We've got a couple of the samples, new magnet, and the little thank you card to go in there as well. We get that one all sealed up as well. Let's grab another sticker. And then we've got one more order. I've just got to have a bit of a think about what size box I'm going to grab for this one. So that one is all done up. All right, I had to go and check the little message as well. It's actually from Lee. She wants a little bit of idea because I don't pester her enough with ideas. She's asking me to help with one of her ideas, so I'll get back to her in just a moment. I think I know where she's going with it. But let's get this order. This order is for Tara. She always places orders during the, or most of the time during a vlog week. Let's pull those ones out the way. I need to grab a couple of things to go in here first. All right, so I've got everything that I need now for Tara's order. So let's take a look at what we've got. So she has ordered 2 of the Prosecco rose soaps. We've got lots of soaps to go in here. She has also grabbed 3 of our black rose soaps. There they are. Now these are the last 3 that I've got online that have got the really pretty swirls. I've got a video coming out. No, it's going out as a reel. I've remade this soap, but it did not go as well as this one, so it doesn't have as many pretty curly swirls in it. I think I did share it on the stories as well, but it's still soap at the end of the day. We have a Midnight Magic soap, so we'll pop that one in there. I'm just trying to sort these out because we've got all sorts in here. We've got the orange and goji berry, really like that soap. Now she has also ordered 4, of the sandalwood and clove. Now at the moment, Tara, these are still got the decorative bits on. I know you told me about your dad and how he loved this soap and didn't like the decorative bits on it, so he used to cut them off. But at the moment, I've only got the ones that have got the decorative pieces, but hopefully next time when you order, I'll have the ones that have the flat tops as well. All right, hopefully this is all going to go in this box. We have a Spa Day soap, and I also have 2 of the Attitude soaps. These have sold super quick. Last time I made an Attitude soap, it took well over a year to sell. These have sold in a matter of a few weeks. I do still have some on the shop shelf, so I'm thinking I might be taking the ones that are on the shop shelf and moving them online. Tara, this box is not going to be big enough. Let's try laying those ones on their side. We also have the Sunlit Meadow, so that's that one there. And then she's also grabbed 2 of the Avocado Mint Claytanical soaps. Definitely not going to have enough room. Let me see if I can just jiggle this around a little bit. All right, I think I may have made just enough room. You'll see why soon. She has ordered 1 each of the, oh, that's the wrong way, 1 each of the new solid lotion bars. Just gonna slide those in. She loves these for traveling because they're not liquid. They don't get taken off you when you do travel. So I'm gonna pop those in there. Now, other things she's ordered, we've got a bat key ring, the cobweb, not key ring, clip balm holder. That's the bat one, cobweb. We've got the mottled black and also the rainbow curls. So I'm gonna pop those across the top here. And with each of those, there is a free lip balm at the moment. So she's picked which lip balms she wants to go with each of those. This is going to be a real jigsaw to get this one in here. Then I have got, because she is a Pamper Club member, she's getting a free pot of the newly released coconut and lemongrass foaming sugar scrub. So I'm going to slide that in there. Oh yes, this is all going to fit nicely. I'm going to pop you back in there like so. Yes, yes, you're going to go. What have we got stuck on there? And you, all right. And then we've also got a little ray of sunshine just to pop in there as well. And we've also got the little magnet and the sample. Now I'm trying to keep it in a slightly smaller box. I know that she says it is done on weight, but I know also quite often shipping is also done based off of dimension as well, and she uses a mail forwarding system to get this to her overseas. So let's get that bit of paper in there to protect those soaps like so. That's looking good. We'll get the little thank you in there. And then let's get this one all sealed up, and then I can get on with wrapping these, and it is just on 3 o'clock, so that is it for packing of orders today. So we can get all these wrapped up and then get all of the shipping labels done up as well. Oh, look at that. That is a very full box there. All right, so while I actually wrap up these parcels, I did want to actually cover something or talk about something that came up a lot in the comments section from the March vlog. You know, the March vlog, it was very difficult month. This month has been hard as well, but not nearly as hard as it was in March, because people have kind of got used to what's going on, and they've got that little bit more consumer confidence to go out now that they know what's happening, but it's still not great. Like, it's still nowhere where small businesses need to be, and I'm seeing a lot of them closing down at the moment. There were a couple of comments that were left repeatedly on that last vlog, and I answered them all because, you know, I do think it's right that creators answer. If you've taken the time to write to me, I will take the time to respond. One of the things that a lot of people were saying was about I should do some advertising. I should advertise in the local paper and, you know, advertise outside of Facebook, Instagram, stuff like that. I do. I actually do. I do advertise. Well, I have advertised. I was meant to do an advertisement at the end of this month. Unfortunately, I can't afford to do it. I don't know what people think advertising costs, but it is a lot more expensive to do print advertising or radio advertising than it is to do the adverts that you see popping up on Facebook, Instagram, and wherever else people do their social advertising. There is a little local paper that gets put out here called the Caloundra Chronicle. It's a little magazine that goes out every 6 weeks, and I've often had a little half-page advert in there, and I can tell you that is $300 to do a 6-week advertising campaign in the little magazine. I did actually have some paper come in to me one day. They were saying how, you know, they were the #1 paper in the area, and they were giving me all these stats and stuff, and I said, I've never seen your paper. Like, I've never ever seen it anywhere. Where do I find your paper? Oh, it's all over the place. And she ended up sending me an email with her rates for this paper that she reckons has all these readers and things that I've, again, never seen. And for a 1/8 of a page advert for 1 week, it was $385. That is money I just currently do not have to spend, especially on a 1-week advert in a paper that I have never seen. I do see the Caloundra Chronicle around a lot, and then she also does a lot of social media work as well. So her 6 weeks for the 300 is actually worth it to me. And I was going to do it for the Mother's Day thing, but like I said, I can't afford it. $300, I do not have that as spare money at the moment. Right now, I am making just enough money to open the doors, to drive the car in, to open the doors, to turn the lights on, to play the internet stuff, related stuff. I'm just making enough money right now to do that sort of thing. There is no spare money for doing stuff like advertising. And yes, I know there is that concept of you have to spend money to make money, and that if you advertise, they will come. But the problem at the moment with advertising is that nobody has money to spend. So if you're spending time advertising right now and people don't have money to spend, by the time they do have money to spend and your advertising campaign is over, they've forgotten about you. So you have to advertise again. So sometimes it's not worth advertising when it's really quiet because people don't have that money to actually go, oh yes, I'll go and spend my money with that person. So you really have to time the advertising well to make sure that you are putting that advert out when that consumer confidence builds back up again and people have that money to spend and they see your ad and they go, oh, we'll go and spend. And I just don't think that is going to happen this year. And I also don't think that's going to happen for Mother's Day this year. I think it's going to be a few years ago, there was a Mother's Day where things were very, very tough in the economy. And I noticed that year there was hardly anyone buying Mother's Day presents. And in fact, even on the Sunday, it was when I was down in Cleveland, the Sunday markets were super quiet, which is really unusual down there for Mother's Day. There was no one in the restaurants. A lot of people that year actually did the cooking at home sort of thing for Mum instead. And I think this year is going to pretty much be the same. I have considered doing the local radio adverts, but I haven't yet called them up to find out what it is. When I was doing the local radio down in Cleveland, the last lot of local radio ads I did, which was over 6 weeks, 3 ads per day, was almost $800. That is a lot of money, guys. It's not like when you get onto, if anyone's done advertising on Facebook and the likes, where you can jump on and go, my budget's $35. It's not the same sort of advertising fees that Facebook and Instagram charge. So it's not as easy as going, you should advertise. I'd advertise a lot more if I had a lot more money, but unfortunately I don't. Now the other really, really common comment that was actually left was that I should work with the hairdresser next door. I have. I have, and we've discovered it doesn't work. It really does not work. So when I first moved in here, I got to know Becky, who is the owner. She is absolutely lovely, as are all the girls that are in there, and we were working together. She actually had a display of my stuff in her store. I made up lip balms for her to give out to people. She was burning my candles in store. I did up all these little discount cards to be given out to clients. I had samples for them, all sorts. I started off, I gave out 50 of these little discount cards. And of those 50, I only ever saw one come back into the shop, and that one was from one of the girls' parents who came in and used it. Then none of the customers came in and used them. I didn't get any sort of further business from any of the free samples. We haven't had any extra business from burning the candles in there. It wasn't bringing the people in here as much as Becky tried to get her customers to come in here. And I think the honest truth of it is, and maybe it is being, judging a book by its cover sort of thing, but to me, the thing is, the women in there, I've looked at the prices of how much hairdos are. It is not the sort of hairdresser where you walk down the street and go, oh, I'll just pop in here and get my hair cut. In fact, it's not the sort of hairdresser you go in and just get your hair cut. You go in for a full-on treatment. So you get your curls done, or you get your keratin treatments, and you get your foils and everything else. It is not just a simple hairdresser. They do stunning work next door, but it's not a simple hairdresser. And the people that go in there, the women who are going in there, and men go in there too, they are dropping $200 at a minimum, I think, and that's on a really cheap hair treatment. $300-400 is what they are spending in there, and they're in there for a couple of hours. Now, I know this is where it comes in as a never judge a book by its cover, but the truth of it is, a woman who is prepared to spend $400 on her hair is generally not the same type of woman who is prepared to buy a $20 moisturiser. They want the Clarion $60 a pot. They want the Revlon stuff. They want the Salon shampoo and conditioner. And apologies if you are someone who does go and spend that much money on your hair and then shop with me. I know it is a very generic thing to say, but at the end of the day, that is pretty much a majority of the people that are going in there are not my customers. They're just not the sort of people who are going to come and buy from me most of the time. So unfortunately, it's not working with them to get business. It's actually cost me quite a bit of money trying to work with them, trying to give the samples, trying to get, printing up the stuff and, the display stock and all that sort of thing. So unfortunately, if it was something like a Just Cuts next door, where you just walk in and get your hair cut, I think I could probably get a lot more success with their sort of clientele, but their clientele is not my clientele. So yeah, although it's a really good idea, I have tried it, it has not worked, and I just have to try and think of other things. And it's the same as the people who actually come into my store, probably also not the sort of people who are going to go in next door and get their hair done. They are going to go to the Just Cuts. That's just the reality of life at the end of the day. So yeah, they were all really good ideas and suggestions that people have put out there, and trust me, I have tried them all. I do have a business background, a Bachelor of Business, so I have tried all the tips and tricks that I have learned throughout uni, but it's one of those things, you cannot lead a horse to water and make it drink. So you just have to kind of find what does work for you. I've spent the last 4 weeks trying new tactics, and some of them are actually working, and you've just got to find what does actually work for you. but I have not got much time left. I've got about 45 minutes. I've got 1.5 parcels to get wrapped, and then got to get it through the computer system so I can actually get these to the post office on my way home. So I'm going to finish doing that, and then we're going to come in tomorrow. I'm thinking tomorrow I actually want to get on top of the monthly melt edit. We've got to do the May monthly melt edit, which is going to be all about perfume dupes. And I want to get on top of that now so I can get the photos done over this weekend, get everything loaded onto the website that I need to have loaded, just so that I can go on holiday and not be too stressed about it. So that will be a job for tomorrow, and making George's face wash. But I better get back to Lee because she's probably thinking I am ignoring her after listening to her message. Good morning, happy Friday. I'm into the shop early, just got a couple of minutes to potter around. I did stop off at the shops this morning and picked up a container for George's face scrub that we're going to make up today. I do love these decor containers for these little red cups. It makes it so easy. I've got them in like all my clays and stuff like that just to scoop them out. So George, you're not getting the cup, but I have got the container. Just going to actually give that a spritz with some rubbing alcohol there. Normally I don't sanitize my containers that products go into that I get from Bath and Body suppliers, because you can actually do a lot more sort of damage sanitizing the containers that you do get from suppliers. You kind of have to really trust the process that they do come to you in a sanitized manner. You can always tell if things are dusty and look just generally disgusting when you get them from the supplier. You know that they've got really bad handling habits, and then I would actually question buying from them in future. But in most cases, the stuff that you get from suppliers should already be sanitized. But because this is coming from the supermarket, and goodness knows who's been handling it, because I see some rather questionable stuff in the shop, I am going to sanitize it. I'm going to let it just sit there on the side to completely dry off, and then later on we'll make George's foaming face scrub to go in here, and then I'll take that down with us when I go on holiday. I have got the melt tank on. We're going to make some wax melts today for the monthly melt edit. I also got one of the parcels I got last night. I got a new delivery of my my boxes that I put my face masks in. They've been sitting on my bench for ages, and I went to do them up last week, and I discovered I only had a couple of these boxes left because they'd been so popular over Christmas, and I had this little panic attack of how am I going to get these boxes, because I used to get these from a little local food and beverage packaging supplier that was down in Brisbane, and it would take me about 2 to 2.5 hours to go over there to collect them. There's $10 in tolls, then you got all the petrol, the day out and all that sort of stuff, and I'm thinking, how am I going to get these boxes? I could ask my mum to go and get them and bring them up for me next week when she comes. But again, it's still about a 40-minute trip for mum to get over there. She doesn't have the tolls. And then she's got to work out which boxes I actually want. So sometimes it's just easier to go and pick them up myself. So I did have a look online, and I actually found a cake store that sell them. They were about $5 more for the pack, but the shipping was less than what it was going to cost me to go and pick them up from this other place. So I've got a load of those in today, so we'll get these face masks off my side and onto the shelf. We'll do that while the wax is melting. And I also have an order here to go and pick and pack for Rebecca, but I've just heard the kettle finished boiling, so I'm going to go and make myself a cup of coffee, get my door open, I'll go and pick Rebecca's order, and then I'll show you what she has ordered. Oh, yes. Bonus. Oh, I love when things go right. So the other day I opened what I thought was the last of the orange rolls of ribbon that I had in my drawer. At Christmas time, I did order more ribbon, and I already had a roll of this. So I ordered another 2 orange and 2 of the grey ribbon because I was using this with the Christmas paper. And the other day I opened this one thinking it was that second roll that I had ordered, and I'm thinking, oh, I've got to order another lot, got to find the money to order them. And I thought, oh, I'll have to do it when we get back off holiday. So, because they're usually very quick at printing them, but occasionally they're a little bit slower. So I didn't want to have to try and arrange it while I was on holiday. But I was just having trouble trying to get the drawer to shut. And as I've looked down the back, one of my rolls of orange paper have actually slipped and fallen onto the bottom of the shelf, and the drawer's been sliding over the top of it. So yes, I have another roll. That means I don't have to order for a little while now. So that's a little bit of a relief. Hopefully I get to order maybe in about June. I might need it. I'm just going to wrap this clay gift mask set that I have got sitting here on the bench. That was the whole reason behind me finding it, because I was trying to find the grey ribbon. And that's when I discovered the drawer wasn't shutting properly, because I'd knocked another of the grey ribbon rolls off the back as well. So yay, that is a good start to the day. I love finding things like that. But let's get, that's not, I'll sort the bow out on that in a minute. It's not my usual bow tying, but I'll sort that one out in a moment. For now, what we're going to do is pack the order for Rebecca. I've got it all picked and into the basket here. All right, I'm now ready to pack Rebecca's order. I just had a customer come in and grab a few of the clay face masks. So I may even have to make them again next week, because she grabbed quite a few. She's giving them away as gifts as well. It is a brilliant problem to have. Let's take a look at what Rebecca has ordered. She says these are some gifts for both herself and her mum. She's grabbed the Unicorn Fluff Foaming Sugar Scrub. So we're going to pop that in there. Just want to make sure that end is nice and flat so we can pop our soaps in. She's ordered the Lotus Flower one, as well as Rainbow Sparkle. So pop that in there. I think there's only one of those Rainbow Sparkles left now. She's also grabbed some of the Bare Essential soaps. We've got Clean Cotton and Oatmeal Milk and Honey. If you are a fan of the Oatmeal Milk and Honey, grab these while they're in the Bare Essentials range. There is another Oatmeal Milk and Honey sitting on my cure rack, and when it comes off the cure rack, it's going to go back into the little extra range, and these are going to be removed from out of the Bare Essentials. I just had so many of them from the wholesale range. I was looking to just move some of those soaps. She's also grabbed the low scented face cream. This was when I made the face cream with the cucumber oil from a different supplier, found out it had been deodorized, and it kind of really changed the overall product, and people like this face cream for that natural scent. So this one's just got a very, very low scent of that cucumber oil. So we'll pop that one in there. Rebecca is a Pamper Club member, so we're going to pop in that coconut lemongrass scrub. And then she's also grabbed a load of our Oopsie lip balms. I was making lip balms the other week. As usual, I never learn. I was trying to do too many things at once. And when I was cleaning up, I realized I had forgotten to put the sweetener into these lip balms. So she's grabbed 2 of the chai tea, pineapple, coconut, 2 of the Asian pear, and a coconut milk and peaches. And the problem with the lip balms is, like, these are still really, really good for the lips, highly, highly moisturizing. So there's nothing wrong with them as an actual product themselves. But because of the way that our sense of taste works, not putting the sweetener into these lip balms actually does affect our perception of them. So in case you don't know, we actually only taste 5 things on our tongue. They are sweet, salty, sour, bitter, and umami. And then the taste, or what we perceive as the taste of food, actually comes from our sense of smell. So when we smell chocolate in our nose, and then we taste sweet on our tongue, but we actually don't taste chocolate on our tongue. So that's pretty much why when you have a cold, you know, food tastes really, really bland. So when I forget to put the sweetener into the lip balm, and I've done it quite a number of times, what happens is you taste the sort of, it's not hugely bitter, but you get that sort of more bitter taste of the wax on your tongue. and then you get to smell the scent. But because there's no sweetener, you don't taste that smell that you're smelling. It's very, very strange how our sense of taste actually works, but it really does make such a huge difference. Sorry, I'm trying to find my sticker labels again. Mum Ben have just messed this around so much. Yeah, so it's because I haven't got that sweetener in there. Although they work really well as a lip balm, you get to smell what that scent smells of, but you just don't get to taste it. The problem was when I did these lip balms, I was making a wholesale order, and I also decided to top up my lip balms, which still need topping up. But I made something like 120 lip balms, and previously, when I've forgotten to put the sweetener in, I generally remember after I've poured the first lot, so I don't always end up with a lot of waste. But this was 120 lip balms, and it was like, oh my goodness, I can't just chuck all these away. This is an absolute waste. And then I just thought, you know what, I often put out things like it's still lip balm, you know, when I've put flavors out there that I'm not happy with and stuff like that. And I thought, let's put them out as oopsie lip balms, and that's what I've done. I've got some in the shop, and then I've got the ones online as well, and then I just move the stock around as the different flavors sell in the different areas. So they do still work as a really good moisturizing lip balm. They just don't have that sweetness. So if you don't like sweeteners in your food, then by all means, these are a really good thing for you. But that sweetener is what actually makes the blueberry lip balm taste like blueberry, or the pineapple one taste like pineapple. But I did learn this time. I've done it that many times and never ever learned, but I did learn this time because it was such a big mistake this time. I then, when I do my lip balms, I actually have an Excel spreadsheet rather than using my usual Soap Maker 3. I actually do it off a spreadsheet, because then I can break it down to all the different flavors. Makes it easier to master batch for me. Too complicated to go in right now. But I actually got onto that Excel spreadsheet, and I put on it in big letters, highlighted it in yellow, add sweetener. So that hopefully when I then look up at my sheet to see what flavors need to be done, I've remembered to add the sweetener into it. We'll see what happens the next time I need to make lip balms. I do actually need to make another batch and stock up the ones on my shelf. I'm just a bit reluctant to do it because I know I've got all of these oopsie ones in those flavors, but at least this time I did learn. So there are those oopsie ones on the website if anyone is interested. I'm going to finish getting Rebecca's order all wrapped up. Then I'm going to go and find the fragrances out for these melts, and we're going to make those. This afternoon we'll make George's face scrub, and I also need to have a really big cleanup. I think I am in an absolute mess. I was editing the video this morning, and I'm looking at it going, look at the state of my benches. There's just stuff everywhere. So I think I need to have a bit of a stop and a reset and a re-tidy up. So that is the rest of the plans for today. I'm going to go and get my front door open. It is closed at the moment. Get the music back on, and we'll see where the rest of the day goes. hour until I get to go home. So I don't want to start anything new, but I also don't want to sit here wasting my time either. I have managed to do all the really important things today. So we've got the melts done, orders packed. I didn't get any more orders come in. I got all the face masks put away. That actually took me quite a while to do. Got George's face scrub all done up. He's just paid for that as well. So yeah, it's been a pretty productive day. Didn't get the body oil, like the new version of the body oil done, but like I said, I'm really happy with the one that I've got at home. So that will be the one that actually goes out. I'm just curious to see what it does. Maybe tomorrow I can have a go at it. We'll see what happens. What else? The benches are all looking pretty cleared. It took me forever to pack the face mask. It's probably why I've been putting it off since the last vlog, because I'm pretty sure I did them up then and they've just been sitting on the bench staring at me, and it just got to the point today I've got to go and put them away because they're really, really bothering me now. But I got all those done. They're all out on the shelves, scattered around. Some of them are put away for the online orders as well. So that's all been done. Benches are nice and clear, which will be a nice way to actually finish the week tomorrow if we can keep them clear. I have got about half an hour until home time, and I am going to sit down because I am absolutely exhausted. But while I'm sitting here, I am going to do the labels for the monthly melt edit. So I'm going to sit here and find some designs so I can get all of those done. Tomorrow, Saturday, is going to be my short day, so we'll see how things go. Won't be making anything new. I don't actually need to make anything. Everything has been done. So we might be able to get that body oil done, but I'll also be wrapping up the melts tomorrow, taking them home on my weekend to take photographs. So definitely on track for this holiday. Oh, I'm so looking forward to this holiday, but I'm going to get all these designs done. I've got half an hour to do them. It is Saturday. I've already been in the shop for about an hour and a half just pottering around, getting myself all sorted. It is an absolutely beautiful day out there. There's lots of people walking up and down the street, but they're almost power walking up and down the street, not watching what's going on. But hopefully we will get a few people coming in today for the last day of the week. It is also the last weekend of the Queensland school holidays, so there's quite a number of people out and about at the moment, you know, soaking up that sort of free time before they all go back to school and work. I've had a very productive morning. Before I came in, I finished editing all the footage on the vlog up until this point, so well and truly on time for releasing this one as soon as possible. It is a long vlog, so thank you so much if you're still with me right now. I was thinking about things last night. I was sitting there thinking of all the things I need to do over the next week before we go on holiday, just to make sure things are in place. We're going to have very limited access when we're traveling out west, so I want to make sure I've got everything kind of loaded on the website and in the various places, so that when we do get access and I know something needs to be released, I can just hit the button and let it go. So one of the things I was thinking about last night was I have to get all the DIY body care formula all listed, photographed and everything else. And I thought, well, the problem is the body oil that I've been testing and using in my bathroom is half empty, and it's not going to take a very good photograph when it's half empty. So I have to make a new body oil when I come into the shop this morning. So that was one of the first things I did do. There's no footage on it because I am going to do a full video for this one when it gets released in May, but this is what it is looking like so far. Now it just looks like an average body oil, but it has got a little bit of viscosity to it, and this should go a little bit more gelled over the next couple of days as well. And what I really like about it is when you actually then apply it to the skin, it doesn't just run, and with that gel sort of texture, it seems to absorb into the skin quite nicely without leaving that sort of tacky after feel that some body oils can leave. So I did make that up, and then I'll be able to pour that into a bottle this afternoon before I go home, because it should be cool enough, leaving it under the aircon. I'll make up the label and I can take that home and do the photos for it over the weekend. So everything for DIY body care and Patreon is right to go when we're away. I have also done up all the labels for the melts. We'll get those packaged up in just a moment. But first up, I do have an order that came in last night for William. What we're gonna do with William's order is actually pack it, but I'm not gonna be sending it until next week. Per his instructions that are on here, he has put on no rush for this order. It can be shipped when the melt subscription renews, which is on, I believe it's Tuesday, his renews. So I'm going to get all this packed up. We'll leave it on the side, and when that renews, then I will get that shipped out for him. But let's take a look. If you've been watching the vlogs for a while, you know that William likes to stock up on soap. So let's see what he has ordered this time. And I've got a big box, a nice big box. I also need a pen so we can make sure that I have got all of this correct. So he's ordered one of the wonky rainbows. These came about because when I was making the wholesale rainbow soap, I got a little bit impatient. I poured it and I ended up with these dips in some of the lower colors. Still a really nice bar of soap, but I called them wonky rainbows. He's also grabbed one of the new golden wattle soaps that came out this week. We have got the green solid shampoo container. I'm going to pop that in there. He has then also ordered, did I not pick? No, I did. He has got the invigorating shampoo and conditioner bars in here too. What I actually might do is wrap that up in a bit of paper to keep it safe. All right, I've got that wrapped up nicely just to keep that safe while it travels. We might pop that on top of there. We'll see. I think we'll have plenty of room in the box. We'll see how things go. He has also ordered the new Temptress soap bar here. I do have a video for that one coming out very soon. We have also got the orange goji. I love that soap. It's such a beautiful one for the morning. What else is in here? We've got the solid dish soap. Good job I made more of that this week. And then we've also got the bunny hops soap. So we'll pop that one in there. Now before I pop the rest of these soaps in, I'm going to grab the monthly melt edit for him, and these are all about Easter this month. So they've got things like cream egg, there's a Jaffa egg in there, there's cottontails for like cottontails off rabbits. Very much an Easter themed collection this month. Let's pop you on there and you in there. That will be a little bit nicer. All right, now on to the next lot. He has ordered lots of our bare essential soaps. So these are the soaps. They've got no branding, no wrapping or anything like that. I just pop them into a bag. Sorry, I've got a bit croaky. I pop them into a bag with a little label on here. I'm gonna do these in order just to make sure we've got them all right. We've got gardenia, we have got a persimmon, and white lily. So I do also have this persimmon white lily as a decorative soap, but it's also available as a plain bare essentials. What else have we got? The lemongrass and poppy seed. That's that one. We have pine forest, so we'll go in there. We have lemon lavender. Charcoal and tea tree is that one. We have a rainbow one, so this one doesn't have the wonky lines in it. He's also grabbed the aloe vera and cucumber that has, this is the version that has fresh aloe vera and fresh cucumber in. So this is my sort of traditional one that I do. I did a video the other week with a new take on making aloe vera cucumber. He has also grabbed the oatmeal milk and honey and one of the clean cottons. Now, because he has said to me to combine the two orders together, which is saving me shipping, I'm also popping in a bonus soap for him as well. William is a Pamper Club member, so he's going to get the sample body scrub, and then we've got all of our little bits to go in here. Let me grab some paper shred. I kind of need a box. It's in between the size of my box below this one and this size box, but we're gonna make it work. I'm gonna pop in the little ray of sunshine for him. For people, I did the bunny hops video recently, and I was talking about the coconut fragrance that I used. This little soap here uses the coconut fragrance. We've got a little bit of a cream tan color on the face, but for a coconut based or a coconut scented fragrance oil, this one has actually provided quite a nice color. I actually did dark green on the bottom because I wasn't sure what was going to happen on the face, but I'm actually pretty impressed with the color that's gone, and I could definitely work with that fragrance as a coconut with that sort of colouring. So I will be planning on making a soap using that. I have got a little sampler. I've got the new magnet, the thank you card, and then we're going to get this one all wrapped up. Tuck that under, grab one of the little stickers here, and then I'm going to go and get this wrapped up. But my camera is telling me that I am super low on battery. So you're probably not going to see me wrap this one up fully, but it is going to get wrapped up in the paper ribbon. I will pop it into its little shipping bag, and then I will leave it on the side until Tuesday. And then when the subscription renews, I will get this sent out to William. Oh, it's the end of the day, and I can tell you I am so pleased about it, because they're at that point of the day where they are yelling, screaming and shouting and squealing like young girls. Again, it certainly wouldn't make me want to go in there to get my hair cut the way they're carrying on right now. Anyhow, it's been a fairly quiet day apart from the yelling and screaming coming in from next door. Basically, I had not a single person come into the shop to browse even, except for one young lad who came in here asking for a job, and I don't even think he actually had a look around at what the store was before asking if I had a job, because I don't think he would be very happy in here. But that was the only person I saw up until 1 o'clock today, and I'd completely written this day off. I was seriously thinking about going home because I'd done everything I possibly could, and then I actually did get 3 customers come in between 1 and 2 o'clock. So it's not been a terrible day, but it's certainly not been a good day either. And it's been a below average week in terms of the shop, but online has been pretty good. And I do tend to find that if online is good, the shop is quiet, and if the online is quiet, the shop is good. I don't know why it works that way, it just does. So thankfully all the orders that came through this week is what has actually made this a pretty good week for me. I did manage to get other things done today. So I got all of those melts done up, which are next month's monthly melt edits. So it was all about the perfumes. I'm going to take these ones home with me and I'm going to photograph those. I've also pulled some of the soaps off the cure rack that I've got made up. So I've taken some of these off the cure rack. I'm going to take them home and get photographs of them so that they're all ready for me to upload. They should be ready when we get back off holiday, so I'll be able to just go click and send them off. So I'm going to take all them home with me today as well. But not much else has happened today, which is why there's not been a lot of filming. I did get earlier this week, over the last weekend, I put in an order for my DTF soap labels. Hubby picked them up for me on Tuesday, and today I've just been doing all the soap boxes for when these soaps are ready to actually come off the cure rack and onto the shelf. So they're all ready to go for me. Next week, I don't actually have a lot to do next week, and I've purposely made it so it is that I don't have a lot to do. They're very, very little tasks. I have to make my DIY body care video, so that is going to be for this body oil. I've actually done it, as I've said, as a gelled body oil. It's actually called an oleo gel, and I will go into more why I actually chose to do this as a gel when I do the video. So I'm going to do that next week. I've managed to get soap on that. Let's tuck that in there so it doesn't get as dirty. So that's one thing I want to do. The other thing, I've now got enough soapy ends that next week I'm going to put together some more of these soap confetti bags because they're always very popular. So I'm going to do that next week. And then I'm going to do a little bit of stock taking and try and put together a sale for while we're on holiday at the end of April and May. I'll be really, really honest and say that I am very, very worried about going on holiday. We desperately, desperately need this holiday. We haven't had a proper holiday where we've just up and gone somewhere for 3 years now, and both hubby and I desperately need this break away. And there's been so many things where we've thought we've had to cancel it, and you just feel the weight of knowing that you can't go on holiday. But I'm also very, very worried about going on this holiday because it's going to be 2 weeks of me not being able to earn any money at all. And it's, even though we've done holidays before where I've shut the shop for 2 weeks and gone on holiday, it's never been in a case where sales are really, really low. And because sales have been consistently low now for 2 months, and also for the past few months, Christmas was okay, but before that, it's been a real struggle to get through the last 18 months. Going on holiday when I know that the sales aren't that good to be able to catch up anywhere else, it really is putting a lot of strain on me, wondering how I'm going to actually recover from a 2-week holiday, but we'll see. There is going to be an online sale while I'm away. I've got quite a number of products that I'm actually looking to discontinue completely out of the range. They're going to have at least 50% off them, so you'll have to watch the website for those. And I've got a few other bits and pieces where I know they've actually sold out online, and I've still got stuff on the shop shelves, but because online does sell better now than what the shop does, it used to be the other way around when I was in Cleveland. I'm actually going to go through and move a lot of the shop stock onto the website while we're away, so you can have one last chance at grabbing some of those items. I just don't want to do it yet because I'm going to empty my shelves if I do that, which doesn't look good in a shop anyway. But I've got a few things like that to be doing next week. But that is it for today. Again, super long vlog, but I know you guys do like that. Thank you so much for coming along with me. I am going to try and do a little bit of videoing while we are on holiday and put together maybe a mini little vlog. But at the end of the day, I really want to enjoy our holiday as well, and I don't want that added pressure of trying to do a video and then edit it afterwards. So we'll see how we go, but I will try and capture just a little bit. If not, there'll be plenty of footage over on the socials if you want to see what we are up to on our holidays. But otherwise, thank you so much for coming along with me to this week. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you did, why not leave me a thumbs up? Any comments down below? Don't forget, I've also started that YouTube membership for anyone that is interested on that one. I did upload another video for the behind the scenes people this week. But thank you so much for coming along with me, and until the next video comes out, I hope you have a good one. I'll see you then. Bye.